moved to South Africa in 2010, right about the May-June time period. I was at that point an investment banker for Lehman Brothers and then later Barclays Capital in New York. So I moved to South Africa from the States, and I've been there ever since. So it's been 4 years now in Cape Town.
Uh, One of the main reasons why you chose to remain in Africa was related to business. Did you have a clear vision of business in Africa?
Well, I mean, I think the I Cape Town was always a very scenic, beautiful city with a lot of tourism opportunities, and which is why when I went there in May, my primary goal was to watch the World Cup and make some friends and just have a good time. What I didn't expect was Cape Town was a very welcoming city from a business perspective as well. So to start a business, to join a company, to join a community of early stage startups, investors, venture capitalists, angels, was something that was very surprising to me. But it has opened my eyes to the possibility of Cape Town becoming the Silicon Valley of Africa, which is why I decided to stay, and I've made this my home now. But it's something that surprised me, and I've been a very vocal proponent of marketing that to people that aren't aware of it.
As an ecosystem, do you think that you have all the parts of an ecosystem there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd spoken about it just this morning at the panel. The important things that a city requires to develop a healthy ecosystem for startups is participation from government, from the local venture capital and angel community, participation from local incubators and accelerators and startup support organizations, and last but not least is participation from the universities and the academic centers to get students and research centers to come to South Africa for to sort of promote their technology and their IP. And in Cape Town, all these four different sectors of the economy play a very critical role and are very supportive of it, which is why professionals like myself who have never been in tech or investing before, I come from a pure corporate finance background, can make a career here because there is a market for professional services. So I am extremely happy at the decision that I've made. And I would encourage a lot of other international professionals to consider Cape Town as not just a tourist destination, but also a business and lifestyle choice as well.
Do you work more as an entrepreneur or more as an investor?
It's a good question. I consider myself an entrepreneur and an investor. I was together with Stefano Guidotti. We essentially started the building blocks of Ustart. So I went from being a very normal corporate employee on Wall Street to now starting the Africa operations of an early stage investing startup. So I think I probably work, to your question, probably work more as an entrepreneur than an investor. Looking at deals and doing diligences on deals is an important part of my daily job. But running a company involves marketing, communications, diligence, networking, a lot of admin work, and that is very entrepreneurial, and that takes a lot of time. But without having that position in place, it's very hard to just go out and look for deals, because that then, if you don't have a good base, you can't create value. So I'd say it's a bit of both.
Here at the event, we noticed that some of the entrepreneurs from South Africa do hardware or like physical products. Do you think it's very common there? What is the face of startups in general?
It's a good question. South Africa, as I've realized in the last 4 years, is traditionally been a very conservative country from a production manufacturing standpoint. The industries in South Africa that did the most, or that were the most successful were mining, agriculture, science and technology, asset management, insurance, construction, brick and mortar businesses. Communications, media. I mean, Naspers is the largest media company, one of the largest in the world. So South Africa has now changed, or gradually changing its focus from more hard assets to more soft assets like technology, digital, software as a service. and there is a healthy mix of the two. And I think it's important to not ignore telecommunications, construction, automobiles, and manufacturing, but to understand how you can almost digitize and technologize existing businesses. So, for example, in the healthcare sector, how can you use mobile applications to work in healthcare? How can you use communication platforms to work in medical devices? And that is the future of innovation in Africa. Is not to ignore the hardware and the brick and mortar industries, but to convert them into more modern day 21st century companies.
One question about the profile of the entrepreneurs. Do you think most are young or most are already seasoned professionals? And also, proportionally, are they more South Africans or foreigners?
It's actually South Africa has the luxury of having a lot of foreign investors and entrepreneurs coming to South Africa to make South Africa their home. So you have the opportunity where it is a good mix, and it is at this point in the tech sector more geared towards a younger crowd. So I'd say the average age of an entrepreneur in South Africa is between 25 and 35. But at the very same time, you have a lot of much older entrepreneurs that have established businesses that are now trying to make their businesses more appealing to the younger population. So like I said before, making it more tech friendly, making it more savvy, and they hire young people to work for them. A great example is the people that are behind the insurance industry. They're now making insurance more sexy. They're making it more appealing to people with mobile phones, people that can look at insurance products through voucher schemes, through things that are new. And so the question is, you can't be watching. You can't be using a desktop computer when everyone's using mobile phones. So you have to move with the trends, but you don't ignore the fact that brick and mortar industries were the backbone of South Africa's economy, and that will still continue to be the case with a bit of technological innovation happening at the same time.